they were telling me you'll have a place to reflect on the life you've lived and kind of be thankful for it and say goodbye to it before you move on. So I realize now that that's actually going to be a gift. I get to spend time there in that place alone, with just myself to say goodbye to this life, but prepare for whatever's next. They did not tell me what's next, so I don't know. If it's going to be just immediate reincarnation, do you hang out in the city for a while? Do you go somewhere else? I don't know.
Did you ever discover why we even come here in the first place?
Yeah. We come here to have experiences and to learn because what I was kind of led to believe is that it's a very push-pull thing. It's a very push-pull thing. The reason the drops fall out of the ocean of divinity is because God needs us to come here and have experiences in physical body, because that entity can't do that. But the whole idea is you come into whatever life you're having and you live that life and you have your experiences and you learn things from others and others learn things from you. And then you take it back and it all goes into that ocean, everything you've experienced. So when you're there and you're in communion with the ocean, you know everything that every soul has ever known. Um, I kind of link it to the Akashic record. I think that that's what we're feeding.
Brothers and sisters in the spiritual world who have just fallen so low that their energy level is so low, they have to drain us or other sources to sustain themselves. So basically, they do this for energy purpose. They have no more energy left.
So are you saying that these entities are human, previous humans, or completely non-human entities and something else?
Everything, all of it. There can be people, earthbound souls, for instance, somebody who has died and is not accepting the fact that he or she is dead, maybe earthbound and not move on and still wants to have his drug habit continued because they like drugs. And they may find somebody who is sort of also on the verge of taking drugs and they cling to them, usually in the back here, and attach themselves. And they continue their drug addiction through that person on earth. That is, for instance, a soul who has died before and it was earthbound. But not every entity is necessarily has been ever incarnated here. But what they all are, they are brothers and sisters like you and me and everybody else, a child of God.
They were hungry. The overwhelming sense of what I was experiencing was they were very hungry. They regarded me as food and fuel for their purposes. The glimpse of hell that I had was a place of incredible lawlessness and chaos where evil was absolutely unfettered. The demons could do whatever they wanted to do to a person, and they hated people intensely. They also regard us as food, so they literally feed off the people. And the way they feed off of people is by tormenting them. And the more torment that they can inflict on a person, the better it is for them. So with no limits, they will cause pain and suffering. You're desperately tired. There's no way to sleep. You're hungry. There's nothing to eat.
And then I felt all of these beings needed my help. And I wanted to help them. I felt back, I want to help you. And then they started to come at me one by one, sort of dart away. And they were taking my energy. How we feel it supersedes what we say or even how we think. what the words that we choose to think. It's all about feeling, and feelings are emotions, are emotions, they're energy and motion.
So to raise everything up, to get more enlightenment, to bring this back, a lot of things are a reflection, and they're all part of creation. So creation makes itself, but creation doesn't always, it's the whole thing that we're part of, and it needs reflection for many reasons, to line up the energies, to change the energies, because creation is, it needs a perspective, different perspectives on itself. I mean, it doesn't know what we know from this level of where we are. We have to bring that back to it and to help reinforce the whole thing, the energy flow.
The torture there feeds these demons. So the more grotesque they can torture you, the more power that they get. They get food off of it. They get high off torturing. They get high off your misery and pain there. That is their food.
So could you say that one, demons hate us, and two,
Yes.
demons need us to sin so that we can feel pain because that's their food?
Exactly.
When you're in your state of joy, when you allow this creative force of the universe that it's you, because you are part of it, same as I am, same as a dolphin, we are all part of this loving creature, loving energy, loving current. When we allow it, when we allow ourselves to be in a joyous place, they feed. The rest of the universe feeds. Galaxies billions away from here, they feel it, because this is all electromagnetic. So when you play with your battery and you generate, when you open your valve to the most, this is universal. You're being a part of a chain, of a universal chain. And it's just beautiful. When we allow it, when we allow ourselves to be in a joyous place, they feed. The rest of the universe feeds.
I kind of link it to the Akashic record. I think that that's what we're feeding.
Do you feel like you've had enough of Earth and you're ready to move on?
Oh yeah, I'm done. I'm done. I have, ever since I came back, I've had this feeling that this is the last time I'll be here. I sincerely hope it's the last time I'll be here.
It's interesting because many guests generally respond in the same way.
I hate it here. I mean, there are a lot of things about life I love, but it has nothing to do with being on Earth. It has everything to do with being among others and interacting with animals and interacting with nature. But in all of those cases, I'm interacting with the soul that is ensouled in those things. So I'm actually, the things I love about being on Earth are interacting with the divine that imbues this place. The place itself, no, I don't want to ever be here again. I don't want to deal with all of the problems we have here. The last few years in the United States has made me just like, it's so hard for me not to just be like, I hate it here. And it's wearing on me. So no, I don't ever want to come back here. Do I want to go to like somewhere like a heaven and stay there forever? Also, no. I want to continue to have adventures and experience new and different places and lives. That curiosity is only more strong. but it's like I can't wait to leave Earth. I don't want to like die. I'm not suicidal, you know, it's not like I want to leave Earth. I want to live a long, full life here because I have a reason to be here and I want to fulfill that reason. But I sincerely hope I don't have to repeat this.
Do you think this is intentionally one of the most, if not the most difficult place to come to?
I don't feel it is the most difficult place at all. I feel like there are places that are much worse and much, much better. And I feel that this place has been both much worse and much better in the past. I don't feel that things are as bad as they could be on this planet or as good. I feel like this place could be a utopia if we could get around some of the issues that we have, but it's the issues that we have are like greed and manufactured lack and separation and, you know, bigotry and judgment of others and isolationism and, you know, all of those things until everyone can agree that we're all part of one whole. And, you know, we all have this same divinity and everyone deserves the same respect.
I got the absolute tour, and I was only shown a small part of what's there.
When you came back, did you feel like, oh, I'm in this place again? This place
Oh,
is
yeah.
horrible.
Yep, it was absolutely. It was like coming back into a dark world. Even though there's a lot of beautiful things here, it's nothing compared to what it's like on the other side. I just did not want to go back. It felt like I was coming back into a third world country, the Earth, because it is so backward. Only on this planet do we have people who starve, people who are homeless, people who go hungry. And to come back to a world like that and to think that we have the resources to solve all those world problems right now. It's just that we don't allocate those resources to do that. So our planet is still evolving. Hopefully sometime in the future, we'll get to the point where the other planets have evolved, where nobody has to go hungry or die from poor water, and we can end suffering. We have the resources to solve all those world problems right now. It's just that we don't allocate those resources to do that, where nobody has to go hungry. We can end suffering.
They were fierce and carnivorous monsters, and at the same time they were gentle giants. They came surprisingly in all shapes and sizes and lived in a world not unlike our own, among birds and frogs, crocodiles and insects.
We have the resources to solve all those world problems right now, where nobody has to go hungry. Where nobody has to go hungry.
and the same treatment in an equal and beneficial way. You know, I feel like we're not going to reach that kind of utopian state here, but if we could, this is a beautiful planet. This is a wonderful place to live if only we could get our society wrangled into heart coherence and the way that we operate physically into balance with the planet. The planet.
Do you think it's possible that all these ideals that you speak of will never happen here because that's the point of being here, is coming in and experiencing this?
No, I don't, because I really feel like at some point in the past we did have something closer to that utopian experience here on this planet, and I think that we certainly could have it again. Because I think that the human experience, like right now, we're a very low vibration place because of the proliferation of low vibration activities. Like war is very low vibration, fear-based religion, fear-based politics in general, you know, manufactured lack, greed, capitalism, all these things are very low vibration, low energy things. If we could get rid of all of those things, then we would be a much more high vibration society, and it would not be this negative experience that everyone seems to be having. And frankly, if we could change to that type of society, I might welcome being here again, because what I'm tired of here and what I don't want to experience anymore is all those things. You know, it's not necessarily the planet, it's all those things.
So much of it seems without purpose. The pain, the suffering, the violent emotions. It is very hard to accept that mess as a design of some sort. Perhaps you will have what you call a different overview when your opportunity comes. My opportunity? You mean I will have a chance to do something about it? Yes, you and your friends. It might be helpful to you to visit the potential of states of being that are very different from the one you are experiencing. For example, to visit an era where human organization is different and conforms more to the way you believe it should be. I can do this? If that is your wish. Can you be with me? It will be my pleasure. Are you ready? If you move slowly, I might be able to learn the technique. You already know it. It is the same as the one you used to move to what you called home. It is only the destination that is not a part of your knowledge. You are right. If you lead, I will follow. The glowing figure began to move. I stayed close by until suddenly it started to dwindle. My response was automatic. The energy pattern of the earth dissolved into blackness. Then out of the blackness, a landscape emerged. Just ahead of me, the glowing inspec waited motionless. We were some 1,000 feet over a wide valley, which appeared to be 8 to 10 miles long and about 5 miles wide. Snow-capped peaks surrounded the valley on 3 sides. Beyond the open side were forests and fields extending to the horizon. A bright sun hung in a blue sky, studded with small cumulus clouds. Directly below us was what appeared to be a large settlement stretching nearly to the base of the mountains. There was a mass of trees of a variety of shapes and sizes, with variegated foliage in every possible shade of green. Among the trees was a complex and extensive network of narrow paths. But there were no houses or buildings, no smoke or smog. The air was totally clean and clear. I turned to the inspec. No houses, no buildings? Sleeping quarters are underground, and the places for artisan activity. Where are all the people? They are among the trees. Each is performing an individual function. How many are there? Just over 2 million as we understand it. 2 million? That is so. How many settlements are there like this? It is our planet Earth, isn't it? It is indeed, and it is the only such place. These are the only humans in residence. The only ones on all of Earth. That is correct. I won't ask what happened that brought the numbers down from billions. So this is what we can expect in the future? You are thinking in the wrong direction, my friend. What do you mean? This is a place of the past, as you express time. The past? There's nothing in our history that remotely resembles this. It must be very far back. It is. Nearly 1 million of your years. The inhabitants, are they human, such as I am? Slightly different, but definitely human. Can we go down? We can indeed. That is our purpose. Will they be able to see us? Can we communicate with them? Yes, with no difficulty. They won't resent our intrusion? On the contrary, they will welcome us. We drifted down toward the trees, and then into an open area about the size of a football field. It was a park, or perhaps a huge flower garden, with neat, irregular beds of flowers and plants, none of which I recognized. Wide, grass-covered walks wound around among the beds in sweeping curves. I even thought I could feel the grass under my feet. You do feel it, just as you are able to see in a physical manner. But you are not physical. I turned. The glowing figure of the inspec was beside me. Walking rapidly toward us were 4 people. They seemed about 5 feet tall, each with a different tone color of hair and skin. Their hair was uniform in length, just below their ears. Their faces and bodies were those of active, athletic 30-year-olds, but without bulging muscles. 2 were men and 2 were women. It was easy to tell because they wore no clothes. They have no need for clothes. What about keeping warm or protection from the weather? Each has an individual control system for that purpose. I don't see anything. It's all in the mind, as you would say. I gather you have been here before. That is so, in a manner of speaking. The 4 approached and stood before us, smiling happily. They had beautiful bodies in perfect condition. I wondered how we could communicate, what language they used. Could they even see us? One of the men took a step forward and nodded. Yes, we can see you, Robert, and communication is easy. We will use your English, okay? The okay was what got to me. There was something wrong here. How would he know American slang from the future? We absorbed it from your mind. No problem. Then I noted that his lips had not moved, and saw the twinkle in his eyes. We both laughed mentally. I had found a new friend who could read minds, probably every last bit of what I thought or felt. From then on, all of the talk was mental, thought transference, you might call it. This is a beautiful place, I began. The weather is very pleasant. We stir up a thunderstorm every afternoon to clean off the leaves and provide water for the plants. With lightning? Yes, but we direct the intensity and where it will make contact. The electrical charge is vital to all carbon-based life. And the wind, do you control the wind too? The wind, would you like it stronger? No, it's all right, it's fine. He smiled broadly. You are wondering what we eat. You all look well-fed and healthy. Healthy? No sickness or injuries and so on. You come from a strange world. Do you really have difficulty maintaining your physical body? That is our major difficulty. How sad. Our history has a record of such problems many thousands of years past. No bugs, no viruses, no one is killed or injured. I understand what you're saying. The bugs and viruses work with us, Robert. There is no conflict. As for being killed, we stopped what you call dying long ago. Thoughts and questions flooded my mind. One rose to the surface. Then you must control your reproduction. Oh, yes. And as for the rest of that thought, we still enjoy the ritual. But no children. We have many children. Would you like to meet some of them? Yes, I would. I will call them. A series of different whistles sounded in my head, like songs of birds, almost a form of music. Out of the trees came several kinds of animals, large and small, all bounding up to the four people who rubbed and patted them. Some resembled cats. Others were reptilian, like small alligators and large snakes. Others were monkey-like, and still others could have been deer, but with long manes and tails. A swarm of huge bees surged out of a tree and made diving, playful swoops past our group. Overhead, a pair of large, brilliant green birds soared in circles, looking down at us. A small bluebird dropped down on my friend's shoulder and chirped in his ear. He turned to me. Our children. I would like to call my own animals children so easily. You will remember the sound, and with practice you can. Is all of the earth like this, the animals, I mean? Only here in the valley. The rest is much what you would expect from reading your books. You know of the food chain system. I do. So the animals die. Yes, in the natural order of events. So do these, our children. A balance is achieved, and we do not disturb it. Then what do you eat? Vegetables? Eat? I will show you. My friend turned to one of the females in the group, who stepped over to a garden plot and scooped up what appeared to be simple black dirt. She brought a handful back and stood beside us. Suddenly I knew what was going to happen. Would you like some of your favorite corn, Silver Queen, as you call it? I nodded. The girl stared at me intently, then put her other hand palm down over the handful of dirt, still holding me steadily in her gaze. I knew she was reading my mind. After a moment, she lifted her hand and uncovered a pale white and perfect miniature ear of corn. She held it out to me. He can't take it, said my friend. He doesn't have a physical body with him. I sensed the girl's laughter as she turned and tossed it to one of the little brown fawns, who sniffed at it suspiciously. They do have laughter, I registered, so they must have emotion. We have experienced every emotion you can remember, Robert. We treasure emotion, but it controls us only when we let it. I felt an outflow of gratitude. We thank you for the warm welcome and letting us visit you. It is very rewarding. No conflicts, no anger, no competition. We do have competition, but we never get so involved that we forget it is a game. I did not ask about love. There was no need to. The radiation from the four of them was evidence enough. In order to survive, each life form needed to absorb its own daily quota of nutrients. Those that for whatever reason were unable to do this either mutated or became extinct. As the elementary life forms expanded into various species, a pattern emerged. The bigger, faster forms found the slower, smaller, or stationary forms good eating. In response, the smaller forms learned to move faster, to reproduce more frequently and copiously, or become discarded in the scheme of things. Conversely, the slower big forms found smaller but faster forms emerging with sharp teeth and the ability to act in concert. In reality, No life form was absolutely safe from others. Danger, crisis, stress, and death became the general pattern. Fear of individual non-survival as danger manifested itself minute by minute, triggered action, fight or flight in the typical Earth life system participant. And as the whole pattern and process expanded, a balance emerged, a balance which we now know as the food chain. The Earth life system is impersonal, in that each life form competes with all others for life-maintaining nutrients. This competition takes place both between species and within the species itself. Cooperation among and within species is standard operating procedure. The system often forces cooperation as a necessity for survival. The whole is a system of predation. The basic pattern of the system is change. Stasis is entropy. Entropy is death. Thus, imbalance is constant, which creates a steady adaptive response at all levels. Polarization, or differential, is an integral force at work throughout the system. For our different overview, the Earth life system is seen as a food chain predator system, although it is rarely accepted as such. It may appear chaotic and complex, but it is organized and operates under a few simple rules. Grow and exist as long as you can. Get what you need to exist. Maintain your species by reproducing. There are no limitations or conditions in applying these rules. Strength, speed, deception, sharp sensory awareness and response, all are great assets. Symbiosis and parasitic patterns are highly acceptable. There has always been, as there is today, a very thin layer of human minds who have the time and the energy to sit back and think. They have moved past the immediate need for survival effort. How many are there? 1 in 1,000? 1 in 10,000? In 100,000? Instead of planning and plotting how to exploit their fellow species or to pull riches from the earth, these curious and suspicious human minds sought for patterns beyond the Earth life system, in themselves and in others. They found enough to strike responsive chords in their own being, and they passed along what they found. The message was that human beings are more than mere animals living and dying in the Earth life system. Yet to date, little has been achieved as a result, beyond such conceptions as hope, faith, guilt, simple belief, and a poorly defined collection of hints and suggestions under the general heading of love.
In this account of the creation of humankind, humans just appear. This version comes to us from Hesiod and also from Ovid. Again, Ovid knows Hesiod's story. He quotes it. Don't you do that. It's plagiarism. Hesiod says, in the beginning, there was an age of people who were golden. They were made out of gold. Okay? The so-called Golden Age. According to Hesiod, they were created by Cronus. These people lived and ate and bred alongside the gods and goddesses. They did not suffer from old age. They did not have to work or build houses. the fertile land of its own accord, bore fruit ungrudgingly in abundance and stuff. And if this sounds familiar, just raise your hand and don't tell me. Elizabeth, tell me.
It sounds a lot like that.
Sounds a lot like the Garden of Eden, doesn't it? They create her on the ancient Greek equivalent of an assembly line. The various gods and goddesses each bestow presents upon this creature, whose name, by the way, is Pandora. The ancient Greek word meaning all gifts. Athena, influential goddess of war, wisdom, and women's work, we'll meet her later, gives her a veil and other pretty things to wear. Hephaestus, the god of metal shop, makes a lovely crown for her. Aphrodite, the goddess of beauty and love, gives her this creature grace and beauty and desirability. And Hermes, the god of thieves, gives her, and I quote, the mind of a bitch. You can obviously see that this myth was written and passed down by men. And then, once they deck her out with a few other things, wheedling, lies, and thievery, they get her all dressed up, and they send her down to the house of Prometheus's younger brother, Epimetheus, whose name in ancient Greek means Mr. Hindsight. This bewitching creature comes knocking at the door of Epimetheus, holding a box. She has been instructed, the silly girl, not to open the box, not to look in the box, okay? And of course that means she's got to look in the box. What's in the box? Your name is? Carrie. What's in the box, Carrie? Mona? Pandora's box? You don't know what? All the evil. There's doom, despair, and agony, and all of the other horrible things, male pattern baldness. She's told not to open it, and there's also hope. Hope is in the box.
Yet to date, little has been achieved as a result, beyond such conceptions as hope, faith, guilt, simple belief, and a poorly defined collection of hints and suggestions under the general heading of love.
These were called the dark ages because human beings did terrible things to each other. Well, this whole thing is going on, that at least in the news channels, they're still talking this is Kali Yuga, because Krishna said it's Kali Yuga. When? 5,124 years ago. So since then, the cumulative aspect of Kali, which lasts for 2592 years, is over, and Dwapara is also 2592 years, that will get over sometime in 2082.
Madame Blavatsky did not claim to be an adept in her own right, but she did claim constant telepathic communication with her hidden masters. They had revealed to her, their chosen one, the occult history of the human race. According to Madame Blavatsky, each round of the cosmic cycle has associated with it 7 root races. The first root race to evolve on Earth she calls the astral race. It was a race of pure spirit, the highest form of existence. The second race she calls the Hyperborean race. Its home was a now vanished continent in the Northern Ocean. The third race was the Lemurians. Blavatsky is clear about the reason for the fall of the Lemurian race. It had interbred with animals. The fourth race in the history revealed to Madame Blavatsky is the race of Atlantis. The Atlanteans had possessed psychic powers and had constructed giant cities using an energy source of mysterious origins. The Atlanteans were destroyed in a great flood. The fifth root race Madame Blavatsky sees as the race of hope.